Welcome to another match in the first round of the Trash Bowl tournament. This is a Europe match, and on the one side we have the person who always posts every one of our videos in the Discord server, Ivan. Thank you for that, by the way. Glad to have you. And this Alex guy who I don't think anyone really cares about. All jokes aside, Alex is bringing a Face Hunter, Soul Demon Hunter, Pure Paladin, that is of course a Libram Paladin as well. And his Bomb Warrior is banned as we're heading into the match right now. Doesn't currently show the spectation button for Alex, but I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna work itself out. Ivan is bringing Gallic Rogue, Face Hunter, Zoo Warlock, and his Soul Demon Hunter is banned. It seems that he's playing the Face Hunter in the first game, as Alex is bringing out his Soul Demon Hunter. And why can I not spectate Alex? Hopefully we can resolve this in a second, as Ivan is having a really good starting hand here with the Initiate. Can either directly proc the coin, which makes sense considering that Alex's hero power can be helpful in killing it, and sorry for that small technical hiccup, but it appears like we won't be able to spectate Alex's side of the game for the first game. That's a bit unfortunate, but we see Ivan played his Imprisoned Falmaw, and now is playing the Initiate and the Demon Companion. Alex has two of the Soul Jailers. Is that what they're called? Forget. So Spirit Jailers. I thought it's enough. On his hand, and yeah, it's on his board, and apparently we won't be able to see his hand for the first game. We'll try to figure it out between games. Alex decides to use the hero power here and kills the Colic, I think it's called, the Leok Demon Companion. As there's a little bit of discussion going on how to fix this, but we'll just have to live with it for now. As Ivan plays his Dwarven Sharpshooter, taking out one of the Spirit Jailers, hits the Initiate in the face. Of course, pushing damage, very important here for both sides, though Ivan with the more aggressive deck has to really push his damage so as to disable Alex from making moves like this one. And also, of course, with the healing from not as much the Soul Fragments themselves, but more importantly the Eldrazi in combination with cards like Lapidary. As Ivan just plays a Face Stalker and hero powers. Let's see really quickly what the secret is. It's Freezing Trap. So Alex might not even hate this. Having another removal card available is not bad. And worst case scenario, he can just play it right now to kill the Face Stalker, which would not be that effective, but Eldrazi definitely does the job. Picks up the Twin Slice as well for that extra healing, saying, I know what your goal is. You push a lot of damage, but what I can do is heal, so that offsets that. Ivan just pushing out the... Nope. Ivan pushing out the World Retainers, and immediately also uses the Double Infestation. Creates a relatively wide board. I assume we're gonna see Alex just play the Charge Shatter now. He can play that, and then still hero power hit the face if he so feels. And that would heal him for 3 and also clear the board. And he plays another Shard Shatter, so that's not the frozen one, which gives him even more healing on the attack, getting the most out of that Eldrazi Warblades. I mean, you can't really complain about getting a total of 11 points of healing out of one 3-mana weapon. I know the attack buffs mattered as well. Ivan immediately plays that Explosive Trap that he drew, as well as maybe the Freezing Trap. Nope, he just played the hero power there, hoping to not freeze off another very valuable minion for Alex, and also he can kill it anyways with the Explosive Trap, so it doesn't really matter as much. Alex now at 7 mana, and again, sorry that we can't see his hand, but Horde Pillager is great for him. Eldrazi Warblades, more and more healing. It seems like he has this under control. Face Hunter really isn't great at coming back from these spots. While it's very good at pushing damage and burst, 30 is a lot of health, which I'm sure Alex will be at next turn. It's really hard to deal with, and already using his kill commands on minions is generally not a good sign. So even though we can't see Alex's hand, just the amount of cards that he has would suggest that he probably has some plays here. We know that one of those is the frozen Shard Shatter, but otherwise, let's see, he plays a Marrow Slicer, just keeping up the pressure, and his health is almost at full, while Ivan's is fast dwindling, and Wolpertinger allows him to use the kill command, but isn't gonna do much else, and he decides to even keep the kill command on his hand, knowing that he might need that later for minions or just for some surprise damage, but right now it's not the most effective thing. And let's see, Alex drew one of the soul fragments, not necessarily what he plans to do right now, but it also doesn't hurt him. Pushes 10 damage to the face, saying Marrow Slicer is lethal next turn, and that means that Ivan will have to produce a taunt. That is not it, and it would appear that Alex is going up 1-0. Hunters notoriously don't have any healing really, and also there's nothing in his hand. Clearing the board is nice, but Freezing Trap is not going to stop the face, and that will bring Alex 1-0, and after this game we'll resolve some technical issues, and hopefully you'll be able to see Alex's hand for the coming games. Blizzard is a small indie company, after all. So yes, that is 1-0. And we're back for the second game, and would you look at that, we can see both players' cards. Only took us an entire game to figure out what the issue was. Well, actually we don't know, we just restarted the game. Well, Alex did, I already tried that before. And Ivan having a good starting hand. Alex is looking a bit clunky here, but he does pick up the Allura, which is an important piece of that deck. It just isn't exactly something to play on turn 1. Hero Power is always a good play for Alex, but even then, that's not really as great without any buffs. And having to wait till turn 4 to actually get a playoff would not be great. Ivan, meanwhile, has the pretty much the decision here to make. Could coin out the Miscreant, can play Pharaoh Cat. Could have even gone so far as to play Secret and Stunner, though I don't think that is really worth it on the 1-1. Alex still not picking up a play here. I mean, from turn 4 on, he'll have some great plays with the Zealot, the Truth Seeker, and another Zealot, but right now, not looking too great. Ivan has a really good Witchy Lackey here on the Miscreant, and yeah, that's fine for a random 4-drop. You could have gotten better, but you don't hate to see it either. And I would assume that Alex now picks up the Zealot and kills the 4-4. That's exactly what he does. Does create the Ambusher here, though that is not even the best thing necessarily to check out the Zealot, especially since Ivan has a Backstab and a Cobalt Lackey on his hand. We'll see what he decides to use here. Plays the Pharaoh Cat first, very good ordering, and now plays the Lackey. It's more mana efficient, it creates an extra body. I cannot hate on that play. And I assume we're just going to see Alex put down the Truth Seeker and kill the Poisonous minion with his weapon, because otherwise that could take out the taunt very effectively. Does just that. Not any Libras of Wisdom quite picked up yet, but the Libra of Hope already getting reduced in cost, and we could just see that being played relatively soon even. Restless Mummy being the perfect card on Ivan's hand, of course, to take out that Truth Seeker, and that seems to be what he's going for. And I guess the 1 mana might just go to waste. He might tempo out the Stunner, though I think especially against Paladin that would not be a great choice. Even keeps up the weapon, and there's another Libram picked up for Alex, and he has right now the option of playing a variety of things. I don't think the Pupil makes sense too much, so he picks up Leadforged Zealot, just gets the weapon, puts out a minion, takes off as much of the board as he can, and We'll see. Ivan still has a Lackey on his board, so he can play the Heist pattern right now if he feels like it, and that could be the thing that solidifies his lead here. Another backstab on hand, of course. There is an argument to be made for Zarev's Crown, but he picks up the Wondrous Wand. Zealous once again dies. Weapon goes into the 1/1, pushes 3 more points of damage, and this might already be the turn where Alex wants to play the Libram of Hope. It's relatively expensive, but and picks up another one. There doesn't seem to be that many better plays. Pupil is also possible, but you really want a taunt at this point. And Ambush isn't quite gonna deal with it, but Blackjack Stunner would be really good right now. And I would be surprised if Ivan didn't see it. He's still able to play the Wondrous Wand on the same turn. There's an argument to be made for playing the wand first, but I don't think there's anything in your deck that changes that play. So while it is technically not the perfect ordering, I don't think there's anything that changes your play. Well, you could argue an extra secret could change your play, because then he could have played a up to 6 mana minion on top of it. Picks up the Never Surrender is not even that bad, but right now the secrets he got weren't great, but Pressure Plate could be very interesting in this matchup. And just having this sheer amount of secrets here could also end up being very helpful. Alex picks up a goody 2 shields, not quite it. The Libram is interesting, not the Libra of Hope, the Libra of Justice, because of Never Surrender. And he plays Libra of Hope, so that does not come into play. But Ivan has a lot of stuff on his board, and he does have the Maniac on hand as well for some extra rush damage. Backstab, he really has ways to deal with this without actually having to commit too much of his board into it. Plagiarize is an interesting pickup here. Mirror Entity could also be really good, actually. Redemption, I don't know if I agree with this pick, except that it's of course the cheapest one, and maybe he wanted to find more secrets, which is also a sensible pursuit. But if he was going for the best individual secret, I think that was the worst one. Especially knowing that there's a lot of big minions in the Paladin. I think Mirror Entity could have been a really good pickup, but it is more expensive as well. And makes some very good trades here. He pushes a lot of damage in the face. Alex going on to 18 health. There is a Lightforged Crusader, but 2 mana after the fact is not going to be that much, and picks up the Allura. Ambush comes down, and I assume he's going to play the Libram of... Oh, plays the Boggart first? I think he wanted to... I guess he was playing around the Pressure Plate, which makes sense, but... Oh, because the enemy minion stats were already so high, but he could have gotten 1 extra health from the Boggart if he had played it after, assuming that there would not have been a Pressure Plate. Of course there was. Bully was a really good evolve here as well. Yeah, and Alex concedes the game immediately. So Ivan's Rogue wins the second game, tying them up at 1 apiece. And that means that both players have 2 decks to pick from, both have a Face Hunter, and Alex has the Pure Paladin that he just played, and Ivan has the Zoo Warlock, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the exact same one as the TrashcanTV budget Zoo Warlock that we've presented in our budget series, obviously. So that would definitely be interesting to see, and I also always fascinating to see mirrors, so let's see where this goes. And we get 1 Hunter, 1 Paladin. Alex deciding to stay on the Paladin, and once again, right now the starting hand doesn't look too great, but he gets rid of some cards and he gets the Eldor Tannant. Didn't see a single one last game, and I'm choosing a Face Stalker here, and actually very clunky hand for being a face deck. Doesn't get to play anything on turn 1. Meanwhile, Alex has the first day at school if he wants it, and he does, and the Elder Tenant as well. It seems that that's the obvious play here. Light Warden is actually not even that bad, especially in the pure version, because with Lightforged Zealot you do actually get some healing as well. Yusuf Sergeant could be really good for trades, like right now. I think we're just going to see probably both the 1-drops just being dropped down, and then the Abusive Sergeant being used to trade off against the Face Stalker, giving Alex a substantial advantage right now. Eaglehorn Bow is possible. Oh, there's the Tour Guide, meaning that Face Stalker Tour Guide Hero Power is probably going to be the play for Ivan. Putting down a secret, if it's Explosive Trap, that's especially good. Though, of course, Alex can take some trades to avoid a little bit. And if it's freezing, not necessarily as much, but it's Plague Tactics. That's a good one. So if Alex very wisely trading into the 1/1 though, still gonna become a 3/3, but at least it doesn't have the effect. And with Hand of Adal, it is possible for him to trade off against the Face Stalker, and if he puts it on the Light Warden, then he even gets to keep it. Actually, yeah, no, wait. Mariah gives plus 2 health, of course, either minion would have lived, but I think the Light Warden is still the better one to keep here. Demon Companion, Voracious Reader is possible, but I might also like the weapon here if I'm Ivan. Keep the Reader for when you get even more draw off of it. And there's an argument to be made to trade here, because, of course, if there's one thing that the Libram Paladin is good at, is buffing his minions, but Ivan decides to go aggressive with it. That is what his deck does best. And Alex brings out the Lightforged Zealot and takes his trade. And again, if Light Warden had lived, there would have been the first proc. And let's see what Ivan draws. Can't quite play all of his cards, but I think now the Voracious Reader definitely makes a lot of sense. You can still play Hero Power on top of it. You get to draw 2 cards with it. I think that's about the best you can generally hope for. And it's a bit awkward, Eaglehorn Bow with 1 durability, but hey. Double Wolpertinger, maybe not exactly what he's looking for, but at least it's minions. Alex, once again, not having the greatest hand. He does have two goody 2 shields, which I would not be that surprised if we saw one. He might also just play the Lightforge down and set up the weapon for next turn. Blessing of Authority is also an option. A 9/9 is also hard to deal with, not a lot of removal in the Face Hunter. Ivan brings down Dwarven Sharpshooter, kills the Zealot, plays both Wolpertings if I saw it correctly, and passes the turn. But that 9/9 could hurt him really badly. And Alex could coin out the Lightforged Crusader if he felt like it. But, oh, Boggart is a huge pickup! Plays the Zealot and the Boggart. Gets himself another 9/9. 2-mana 9/9, you love to see it. Trades off the Dwarven Sharpshooter, most valuable minion on the opposing side. And Tour Guide isn't the most helpful thing right now. You can use a kill command to actually deal with one of the 9/9s while running all of your board in there, but that is not a great position for the Hunter to be in. But you have to, because otherwise you're guaranteed to be dead. But even after you do that, there is 13 points of damage on the board, plus 4 from the weapon is 17. So if Alex can find 1 point of damage, which notably he does not currently have on his hand despite being a buff-focused deck, and that is not quite it. He does not have the lethal. Lightforged Crusader could have been it, but he now already attacked with his minions, so Lightforged Crusader could have given him a Blessing of Might. But he did not seem to go for that. He goes for the Libram of Hope instead, saying, you're not going to win next turn, so why even bother gambling on a potential lethal, rather playing the slower but virtually guaranteed win here. And Swamp Ooze is not the answer, nor do I think anything else in Ivan's deck is, so that is going to be the 2-1 for Alex. Leaving him with the Face Hunter, which he has said before the tournament is not necessarily one of the decks he's most comfortable with. So we're going to see right now Alex just pulling out all the stops, making a 2-mana 17/17, just showing off how dumb that card is, and killing Ivan, making it officially 2-1. Wait, no, it's the Paladin he won with. Yes. So yeah, Alex having to go to the Face Hunter, getting 2 tries on it, one of which could be a mirror, the other one facing, as we've seen with Pimpcarp, one of TrashcanTV's very overpowered budget decks. We've seen those can be competitive in tournament, and we are gonna see the mirror. Now, they are not exactly the same construction, but you'll still love to see a mirror, at least I do. Demon Companion is an interesting keep here, decides to throw most of the other stuff away. Scavenger's Ingenuity is, of course, the way you want to get your Wolpertingers, and picks up the Initiate and Dragonsbane on hand, some of the best keeps in the deck. Alex having his own Initiate, and the Adorable Infestation, playing the Sharpshooter, knowing that it's one of the best cards in this particular matchup. So Ivan's going to drop down the Initiate, full well knowing that it's going to die to the Hero Power next turn. And also puts down the Demon Companion, just pushing some damage there. And Alex is going to have a way to clear off the entire board here. and I would assume he does that too. Hits the hero power in the initiate, trades the sharpshooter into the huffer, and Ivan still has no good way of dealing with the sharpshooter. Explosive trap is possible, but I think you want to probably play the ingenuity here. Plays the explosive trap, locking on the board, knowing that Alex also has a lot of minions that he might want to play. So Alex triggers the explosive trap, of course, and we might see hero power turn here, but it makes all sense to play the initiate and a spell. Gets to play the Marsul on top of it, gets himself a 4-3 and a 1-1. Actually 2 1-1s. So that's a very solid play, and of course explosive trap is the main way for Ivan to deal with the Marsuls, but he's already used one. A Scavenger's Ingenuity has a 2 in 3 chance, I believe, to hit the Wolpertinger, so that would have been a good idea to counter the board here. Weapon is possible to guarantee that you can kill the initiate, but it seems like a very passive play. But knowing that you have Face Stalker Hero Power as a follow-up play might actually make this very valid. Alex could also play his own initiate here and a Pressure Plate, though Pressure Plate probably not as key in this particular matchup. Does have the Eaglehorn Bow as well, though then the only other thing you can play is the initiate, which unactivated is maybe a bit awkward with Ivan's weapon. That being said, if Ivan uses the weapon, it will be destroyed, so he might be a bit hesitant to do that. Probably not quite reader time yet for Alex, but we'll see what he decides to do. Plays the bow, and it seems like he's intending to maybe keep the initiate, which kind of makes sense. As I said, because of the weapon that Ivan has, and Ivan is probably just going to play Face Stalker Hero Power here. I would not be surprised. Knowing that he'll get a secret, which will also enable him to get another charge on the Eaglehorn Bow, so he can deal more damage that way. And if it is the second explosive trap, then he could have even potentially dealt with the Marsuls as a freezing trap, so that won't be the thing here. But Alex does have the Falmaw here as a play, and the initiate with the Pressure Plate, and he seems to play all of that. There's a question of whether or not you want to hit the weapon into the Face Stalker. I would say it's worth it, denying your opponent more secrets. You're basically using one charge of your weapon to prevent your opponent from getting more charges on his weapon, and more secrets, and more damage, so just seems too universal enough to do it. And there is a possible Dragonbane Tour Guide Hero Power play here, and that seems very appealing. The question is, do you want to hit something with the weapon first? And Ivan seems to say yes, he wants to, and then he decides not to instead. Trying to go as much face as possible, and he is ahead in health. Both players have about an equal amount of cards. Alex picks up his own Face Stalker. Now he doesn't have the Eaglehorn Bow anymore, but I think Face Stalker Hero Power, Voracious Reader for 2 cards, as I've said in the last game, that's always good value. The Marsul might trade here, but there is an argument to be made for going face, but the counter argument would be that presumably Ivan would still want to trade, and with the Double Infestation, for example, that would be more in his favor. Alex's secrets right now, of course, are Pack Tactics and Pressure Plate, so Pack Tactics will come into effect here, giving a 3-3 Voracious Reader, and I guess we can just see the hero power from Ivan here. See what he can hit. Hits the Face Stalker. Scavenger's Ingenuity gives him a Wolpertinger. Very good pull there. Pressure Plate, of course, does kill the Dragonsbane, as I've already noted here. That could have gone better. He could have infested it to give it a 50-50 shot at least. Falmaw takes a trade. As a matter of fact, in terms of trading, the best trade he could have taken. Alex still notably has a Voracious Reader, so he can try playing as many cards as possible, though a lot of expensive cards, and one of the cheap cards draws, so not the biggest use here, but with Tour Guide and Weapon, he can still play 2 things, so he'll get 2 more cards off of the Reader, effectively, which is great. And I think it's just time to push now. You're so far ahead. He can deal the 8 damage to the face here, pushing Ivan down to 9, and Ivan has to find a way to come back from this, and Alex has the card advantage even. Pack Tactics isn't going to do much, and you just have to take the best trades here, leaving Alex with being able to still push the what is it, 10, 12 points of damage. So basically our main play is to just hope that Alex plays around a secret that you don't actually have. But the question is which secret actually does anything, right? Hits in there, and yeah, it doesn't even matter, because even if it's explosive, there is nothing there, and Alex also draws a kill command just for the extra overkill. And that makes us officially 3-1, Alex advancing to the next round. I believe I also already know who his opponent is. One sec. Oh boy. Yeah, no, there we go. 3-1. And that means Alex will officially face... Let me check my notes really quickly. Pimcarp, right. The inaugural Trash Bowl champion and fill-in player from the America server, who actually is bringing a full lineup of the budget decks. Now, of course, that is the one that Ivan did not play, so we don't know how Alex performs against that, but good game for both of those guys. We hope to see you again soon, Ivan, and Alex advances, and that's it.